Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I'm feeling so good this morning because it's cloudy, it's dark, it's ever so slightly raining, and it's lovely and cool. Um, because this week I have been a miserable, tired, uncomfortable, cranky bitch. Let's put it bluntly, because it has been 31 degrees for I think 4 consecutive days, and then it dropped down to about 28 on Friday, and it was just like, oh my god, I'm an autumn winter girl. I hate the summer, and when it's 31°C for 4 consecutive days, and I'm in my house trying to work in a building that is designed to keep heat in, as you can imagine, as someone who hates summer, I was just not in a good place all week. I really was not. So, to be honest, I am so glad this week is over. Yes, we're going to be having some warmer days. I think might be into the mid-20s next weekend, but right now it's going to be like this up until I think Saturday, and I'm so happy. This is my comfort zone. I love this. So I'm very, very happy that it's cloudy, it's a bit dark, it's cool, and it's a bit rainy. I love it. So yeah, I've just been working this week and trying to survive in the heat and watching a series that I've never watched before, which is Death in Paradise, because I just wanted something on that was kind of like a sort of mystery related, but I knew in the heat I could just easily watch. And I thought it was quite funny that I'm going to a series that's about murders in the Caribbean, obviously in a very hot place, and I was in a very hot place in my house, just feeling uncomfortable and cranky and just horrible. So yeah, I thought that was quite funny. So I've been watching Death in Paradise this week. But what I've also been doing is reading the book I am here to review, which is Meet Me at the Wedding by Georgia Toffolo. And I have to say, I'm going to be brutally honest, because I've had a week where I've just been blunt and brutal, and because I don't give a shit in this kind of weather sort of thing, I'm going to be brutal and honest about this book. And I'm going to bring back my magic word, my word that I have not used for a very long time. This book was beige. Now, if you haven't come across me using this term before, beige is what I use to describe a book that I feel had really no substance whatsoever. And not only was it a beige book, it was a special kind of beige. This was a fluffy ball of beige. But I will get into my reasons why I'm describing like that after I tell you what it's about. So this is the fourth book in a series, the Meet Me series by Georgia Toffolo, who is pictured up here in the corner. And this book follows a woman called Lily. She lives in Devon. She's been there obviously her whole life. She went to culinary school in London, became a chef, and then she came back home and works at the Hawkesbury estate, a very lovely place with lovely restaurant and everything. It's a gorgeous hotel. It's just a high-end place for people to come to have a break, have a good time in Devon. And the owner, who was the man who took her under his wing and kind of taught her the ropes and everything, who she saw as a father figure, has passed away. And the estate has gone to his son. And she has told her best friend, who was getting married, well, one of her best friends, because there's a whole group of them, that she secured the estate for the wedding. And the invites have gone out and everything. But in reality, she hasn't, because of this whole thing of the owner passing and it going over to the son, who's been away for 10 years, and they don't really know where he is and everything. She hasn't been able to secure the booking. And out of the blue, the son arrives at the estate to say, I'm selling the place. You're all going to lose your jobs, everyone. I'm shutting the place down, basically. But he finds in order to sell it, he needs to host events to show what the potential that it has and what they do with it in order to get someone to buy it. So he goes to Lily and begs her, as the chef of the place, to help him out. And she agrees only if he will allow her friend's wedding to take place there. And it's all about them working together in order to save the estate, and they develop feelings for each other. And that's the book. Now, here we go. Right. This is the point where I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant. And I that thing of the, when I criticize books for their faults and everything, I do feel kind of, awkward in that, because this is somebody's work that they've put a lot of effort into, and I totally understand. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh, this, no. So even though this isn't, I don't like to rip apart things, but sometimes it's necessary, and I feel like it's a bit necessary for this book. Now, first of all, right, this was an advent calendar book, okay? And when I opened it, I did, Googling and everything. You can watch a video of me opening it and talking about it. I noticed that the 3 previous books all had different protagonists, different names, different ethnicities, different locations, and that. So I was like, okay, so each of them are a standalone book. Turns out not, because it turns out that the protagonists of each of the previous books are Lily's best friend's circle, and the protagonist of the second book is the one who's getting married in the 4th book. Okay, so basically Georgia has written her previous 3 books of just following these individuals, and then she's brought them all together, the best friends together as a group, in the 4th one. So I started off with this book with not understanding conversations that people are having, because if I had read the previous books, I should have known that what the connections were and all this lot, and who these random people that they're talking about, but I had no clue. So as somebody who's going in completely blind, I was like, okay, this feels awkward. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that the book should have told me everything about everyone, because obviously if you've read through the series, that takes a lot of time, and you can see it actually in other authors' books. Like, say for example, J.K. Rowling's aka Robert Galbraith's Cormoran Strike series. At first she did do that, where she would tell you things, remind you of things, but then as the books have gone on, she's done that less and less. So I'm not saying that Georgia needed to make sure that I knew who people were, but even if it would just be good, even if it was just like a slight sentence to say X character, comma, Y character's brother, comma, and then just carry on, just so they go, oh, okay, right, that's what their connection is, right, okay. It would just made it a bit easier for me, who has absolutely no idea, to go along. Second thing, in a way, this really did help for those who hadn't read the previous books, but the way in which Georgia approached it, I felt was a bit wrong, that she tripped up over herself. So the second, as mentioned, the second book lead protagonist is the one who's getting married in the 4th one, and about, I don't know, 10 to 15 pages in, we get about 3/4 of a page explanation about said character. Okay, and the person who she's marrying. Okay. But basically what Georgia has done is given us the entire plot of the second book, which means there's absolutely no point, if I did enjoy this book, for me to then go on and read that book, because I already know what happens. And I'm not just talking about, in general, obviously, well, she got together with a guy, they're now getting married, which is what I'm witnessing in this book. Well, that's a given. But there were other things that she described where I was like, oh, did I need to know that? Just, Okay, so I kind of felt like if she had made that shorter and just literally said that this character was marrying that other character after a whirlwind romance or something, and then the location where it was. I'm saying this very carefully to obviously spoilers, because I don't want to possibly spoil people who want to go on to read these. Then that's all I needed to know. That is all I needed to know. But no, she goes on and on about relations that have been lost, various different issues elsewhere in personal lives. And I'm like, okay, so no need to read that book then. So in places, it was like she just didn't give you any information, and other places she gave you loads of it. And it was just a bit weird. I also have a bit of a pet peeve. I have a pet peeve, and this is my pet peeve. If you are having to put a picture of the author and saying, you know, as from TV's Toff, so it's just because, just so you know, Georgia Toffolo, in case you aren't aware, she's one of the people that was on, I think it was Made in Chelsea. This one, I never watched it. I don't give a shit about those reality shows. The only way is Essex and Geordie Shore and Love Island. No, not interested. She was in one of those. I think it was Made in Chelsea, from what I can remember looking her up the other week. And that's because her picture is there. They're going, it's her, that person from TV. So buy this book. It's not. I want the substance of the book to be the marketing thing, not the face of the person who wrote it. I'm sorry, as soon as I see a picture of the celebrity, like in a circle in the corner of the book, that screams to me, they have to do that. That's not the content of the book is really not great. Now, I will give a caveat to this. I am specifically talking about books that are aimed for adults. Books for children, where, you know, they've put a celebrity there and such. I can understand that obviously that is part of marketing, but, and a big but, children's literature up to, from a young age up to a certain point, is very much, there are a lot of things that get thrown at them. Kids go, this is on your CBeebies channel or whatever TV program. So that gets thrown in their face all the time. So I can kind of see that they would go, okay, we're going to put this celeb's face on it in order to, you know, go, that's what so parents or whoever are buying this book going, that's the person or show or whatever my kids love. I know that's the one that I want to buy. But when you've got to a certain point, you go, that's not necessary anymore. That is not needed anymore. It's you've reached a point where it's the quality of the content that is the key thing. And especially when you're an adult, if you have to put your face on a book in order for people to look at it and to buy it, that tells me a lot about the contents of this book. And I can confirm that this is a beige book rolled up in lots of fluff. So the thing about this, straight off the mark, I started reading it and I sent a rant message to my sister and our bestie Sarah, hey Sarah, saying, what kind of a best friend is Lily? Right? Her best friend who is getting married is not even in the same country. She's on the other side of the world, okay? And she has asked her best friend Lily, who lives obviously in Devon, the place where she's going to be returning home to get married, to help her to plan her wedding, okay? How is it that Lily has allowed even invites to go out but hasn't secured the location of the wedding. If I was a bride, I would be losing my fucking shit. I'm sorry. No, that is not good. That's not being a good friend. And she is so fucking lucky that Henry basically needs her help, and she basically bribes him in order to get the venue. I cannot fathom this. I cannot fathom this. And to be honest, if I was a bride and I was overseas from the location of the place, I would be on that shit forever. I would be constantly asking questions. Are we okay? Have we got this? I want to see confirmations of things. I want to know that you understand X, Y, Z. I would be like that because, oh my God, organising a wedding is one thing where you live. Organise a wedding on the other side of the fucking world from where you live is a whole nother ball game, okay? And I would be on that shit. And I'm sorry, I cannot believe that she would just go, oh yeah, my bestie's dealing with it. It's all good. Yeah, it's fine. And not ask a single fucking question. Oh my God, my brain was screaming. My brain was screaming at that. Okay, that's the first bit of it. The rant probably over. When you get into the book, it is incredibly slow. Like, it's very interesting that all the relationships between the four besties is quite frantic. They're constantly popping in across each other and everything. And obviously, because you've got four people in conversations all the time, you've got a lot of dialogue to cover. I totally get that, but it's very fast and frantic. And I found that so interesting when the story is so slow. Not much actually happens in this book. And to be honest, the boredom was really interesting. More interesting than the actual plot of the story. I hate to say this. I know that this is somebody's work. I totally get that. But this, I feel like, has just been written for a demographic of people young, like in their, like, probably mid-20s. Probably, like, let's face it, probably like the contestants of the show that Georgia was possibly on. I don't know. I've never watched the show. I have no interest in that shit. But it just felt like I am too old for this shit. Okay. And I find it really funny because I had read that book, Her Husband's Secret, wasn't it called? By was it Sean or Sinead O'Flanagan? So sorry, I can't remember the name of the author, the exact first name of the author. But I read that and I felt like I'm too young for this. The position of the characters, and I'm supposed to completely understand where these characters are coming from and everything. I felt like I was completely too young for what she expected me to know about in life. And okay, that's fine. This, I am far too old for this shit. I am too old for this. It just felt mind-numbingly ridiculous and tedious. The characters was just, I didn't care about them whatsoever. Oh, no. And I actually said to my sister Laura and our bestie Sarah that this makes me understand or appreciate even more the scene in series 1 of Friends where the guy who owns Central Perk, whose name I can't think of right now because he only gets mentioned in that one episode, says about Phoebe's music that it's not bad. It's so bad. It makes me want to put my fingers through my eyes up into my brain and swirl it around. I've got to be brutally honest. I mean, I'm sorry, Georgia, for ripping apart your work. I totally, I know you would have worked so hard on these books and, well done to you. You've got a book deal. You've published these books. Bravo to you. But this, I am too old for this shit. I'm like, no. Oh, and it does make me think that because I didn't read the first 3 books, because I got this randomly in an advent calendar, was there stuff about Lily that I would have learned about in the previous books because of conversations that these 4 besties have? Are there things that I should have known, but I didn't because I've never read the previous? I don't know. I just felt like the whole time, this is absurd. It is absolutely absurd, and I can't deal with that shit. And I just, oh God, I felt a massive relief when I finished it. And the end is just a fluffy ball of yay! Like, I mean, I love a good romance. But I want a romance that actually has depth to it. The characters have got deep thoughts and feelings and souls, and I can feel it. But this, I didn't feel anything other than boredom. I'm sorry, I didn't. I want like Bridgerton. I want, or like Jane Austen, or things like that, where I completely understand all those characters back to front, inside out. I want to feel like I'm falling in love as I am reading this couple. And to be honest, it kind of felt like, well, I suppose you kind of deserve each other, I suppose. But no, computer says no. So there we go. I am so sorry to be so blunt and ripping apart someone's work that they have worked so hard on, but no, it lived up to the point of putting a sticker of the actually, is that a sticker? It's printed into the book. Shut up. It is. It's properly indented into the book. I thought it was a sticker. It lives up to the point that sometimes in order to sell books, you have to put the author's picture because it's as seen on TV. This is a book that's suited for people a lot younger than me, sitting on a beach, targeted to women, and I'm not into that shit. So those are my thoughts on Meet Me at the Wedding by Georgia Toffolo. So ask my questions. Will I read this again? Fuck no. No. Will I recommend this to anyone? No. Will I read any more of Georgia's work? No. It's no's across the board. No, I feel like I want to actually like shove it off the table that I've got it on right now and never look at it ever again. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on Meet Me at the Wedding. Have you read this book? I'd love to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comments box below. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, entirely to you decide. And its next video is actually announcing my next picks from my various jars. So I'm very excited to share with you what I will be reading next. All right then, everyone. Bye.